Love and work. Work and love, that's all there is. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Flowers are restful to look at. They have neither emotions nor conflicts. Most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. A civilization which leaves so large a number of its participants unsatisfied and drives them into revolt neither has nor deserves the prospect of a lasting existence. The conscious mind may be compared to a fountain playing in the sun and falling back into the great subterranean pool of subconscious from which it rises. The ego is not master in its own house. Civilization began the first time an angry person cast a word instead of a rock. What we call happiness in the strictest sense comes from the, preferably sudden, satisfaction of needs which have been dammed up to a high degree. Neurosis is the inability to tolerate ambiguity. The tendency to aggression is an innate, independent, instinctual disposition in man. It constitutes the powerful obstacle to culture. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. Sadism is all right in its place, but it should be directed to proper ends. A man who has been the indisputable favorite of his mother keeps for life the feeling of a conqueror. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. Opposition is not necessarily enmity. It is merely misuse used and made an occasion for enmity. Analogies, it is true, decide nothing, but they can make one feel more at home. The act of birth is the first experience of anxiety, and thus the source and prototype of the affect of anxiety. The first requisite of civilization is that of justice. The liberty of the individual is no gift of civilization. It was greatest before there was any civilization. One is very crazy when in love. A certain degree of neurosis is of inestimable value as a drive, especially to a psychologist. We believe that civilization has been created under the pressure of the exigencies of life at the cost of satisfaction of the instincts. Just as no one can be forced into belief, so no one can be forced into unbelief. Civilized society is perpetually menaced with disintegration through this primary hostility of men towards one another. The doctor should be opaque to his patients and, like a mirror, should show them nothing but what is shown to him. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. The great question that has never been answered, and which I have not yet been able to answer, despite my 30 years of research into the feminine soul, is what does a woman want? He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. If his lips are silent, he chatters with his fingertips. Betrayal oozes out of him at every pore. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. Every normal person, in fact, is only normal on the average. His ego approximates to that of the psychotic in some part or other, and to a greater or lesser extent. Everywhere I go, I find that a poet has been there before me. Obviously, one must hold oneself responsible for the evil impulses of one's dreams. In what other way can one deal with them, unless the content of the dream, rightly understood, is inspired by alien spirits? It is part of my own being. The goal towards which the pleasure principle impels us, of becoming happy, is not attainable. Yet we may not, nay, cannot, give up the efforts to come nearer to realization of it by some means or other. Just as a cautious businessman avoids investing all his capital in one concern, so wisdom would probably admonish us also not to anticipate all our happiness from one quarter alone. We hope you like these quotes from an Austrian neurologist, Sigmund Freud. Which quote you like most? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe to our channel to get more valuable videos.